Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Shattered Silence, Stories of Recovered Resilience. My name is Jory, and today I am here with Treva Noriega. Treva, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we kind of connected through social media. You're very active on social media. Your son, Cooper, that passed away in June of 2022.
Yes.
And so, Treva is here to share your story, to share Cooper's story, and just kind of spread awareness about these unfortunate overdoses.
Right.
So I just kind of want to go through, just talk about Cooper as a kid and how he was, and just how he was growing up.
Cooper was fun. He was silly. I've said this a few times. I mean, he was such a really sweet kid. A lot of his female friends, he had a lot of girlfriends, not girlfriends, but girlfriends. Mm-hmm. And that a few of them would always tell him he's such an empath. He just felt everything from everyone. And he just was so fun and silly. Oh my gosh, the things he would say and act. And sometimes I think about, and I've told some of his close friends, I get a little envious that even though I took him to skate parks and I took him to movies and I took him to Disneyland, whatever I did, there were still those moments that I didn't get to see the really silly parts of him, the sillier parts. Mm-hmm. So I get a little, envious and, those missing parts that they got to have and got to love and got to know.
Right.
And as a parent,
So you guys live down in Orange County?
Laguna Beach.
Okay, so he grew up there, I guess.
Yes.
So I kind of went through a little bit of Cooper's TikTok and the different videos you guys have shared of him. And honestly, even thinking about coming to do this podcast today has brought me to tears because his personality reminds me of Kyle's personality. Like, I just feel like these, big personalities, vibrant personalities, everyone loved them, just, very popular. And Kyle, he had a bunch of girlfriends, too, in high school. He just had a lot of friends, And so as I kind of was looking at more stuff on Cooper, I'm just like, oh, my gosh, it just hits close to home this time around. Because he seemed so much like Kyle. He really did. He even just the music that he had on some of his stuff, I'm like, he really did remind me of Kyle.
Oh, I love that.
And so I know that Kyle and I got together when, in 2018, and so he had previously had an addiction problem that I wasn't fully aware of when we got together. But I know that when I looked at one of Cooper's video, he mentioned that he had struggled at one point, or he got introduced to drugs at a younger age.
Thank you for bringing that up. I think that's such an important subject for our family to kind of make clear. But I think he was about 13 and a half. Okay. And for some reason on his last podcast that he did, which devastates me. I can't even talk about that last podcast that he did. He said at 9 that he became addicted. And I don't know where that came from. Because at 9, he was in the pool. He was playing baseball. He was a healthy young man. I believe as his mom, and I stayed pretty close to him. Took him places. I watched everything around him. I think at 13 and a half, I started seeing change. And a lot of it, as much as I hate to bring this up, but for him, in 7th grade, his teacher told me that they thought he should be on Adderall. And I just remember sitting there crying. And I'm like, okay, I knew nothing else.
Yeah.
So I put him on Adderall for 8 months. And for him, now that medicine is good for certain kids,
right,
of course.
For what it's meant for, yes.
But for him, I believe that it was his downfall. Because he couldn't eat, he couldn't sleep, he wasn't growing. He was just numb. And so I took him off of it after 8 months. And during that time, he started smoking weed. And then I think around 14, someone gave him a Xanax, and it was game over.
Yeah.
It was just game over.
Yeah.
He
just going into high school with that really fragile time in a kid's life, I feel like.
And I think that something in that drug just like, it was, I don't know what it was for his mind.
Yeah.
But then he became addicted. And
I was actually going to bring that up and see if there was any sort of like treatment he went to, how that was for him.
So we sent him to a wilderness camp, and he in the beginning he struggled because he's picked up in the middle of the night, which was horrendous for us. And the two gentlemen that picked him up just were the sweetest, kindest men. And we had him driven to Utah. So he went to this place called Second Nature, and I thought they were amazing, just amazing. And he grew, like within 3 months, he grew a foot taller, so healthy, so strong. It wasn't the kind of like military or anything. It was like you're hiking miles and miles, and you're learning how to live in the wilderness. And he grew to love it and appreciate it. It was, there were, the last night he was there, Harold, my husband and I went and spent the night with him and all the guys and counselors and it was pretty special. And then after that, we sent him to a boarding school. Okay. Which I think, I've heard a lot of bad things about boarding schools. I believe it was okay. Yeah. I don't think it was one of the worst ones. I think it was okay. And I don't think that I don't think they're perfect. I think a lot of stuff happens in those places that, we don't want to know about. Yeah. And you've got 25 young men living in a mansion. Yeah. And, and they're all, boys. Yes. And, they're
teenage boys.
Yes. Yeah. And, I think there were a lot of hard times for him there, of course. Yeah. And there were a lot of hard times for us being home. Yeah, I bet. But at the same time, I felt safe. I'm like, my son is sober and he's safe. So those
even just making that decision, I'm sure, to send him there was tough.
It was so tough.
And, just having him there, I'm sure, was tough. After, how long was he there?
So he was in wilderness for like 3 months, and then he was at boarding school for about, I think, 11 months.
Okay. So how was he when he got back?
I want to say he was good. I think he was really good. He was conflicted. He's a teenager. Yeah. He's, he's barely 17.
He's still figuring out the world
15,
anyway.
He's 16. And when he comes home and going back into the high school that he left, all his friends. And, I would think it was a really tough thing. Yeah. We had to sign a contract that he wasn't going to do this, wasn't going to do that. And then yet he's going and everybody else is doing all those things, And I think it was just very conflicting. Yeah. So, but at the same time, he learned a lot of, like, coping skills. And I think throughout the rest of his life, he understood those coping skills, and I think that he used those skills. There was a time when he was sober, and then I believe they call it California sober. I didn't know any of that until after the fact. He started using about 5 weeks before he passed.
Okay. And you noticed?
Oh, I noticed.
Yeah. Yeah, you can just tell that difference. Yeah.
And I'm in Laguna and he's in LA.
Oh, okay.
And I get this phone call. And I was just, I knew it.
Yeah. Yeah. So
It's like
going
this
back,
perfect storm.
yeah. Yeah. It's like when you look back at it too, you're just like, you remember everything, but it still seems kind of like a blur at the same time. I don't know.
Right.
It's just, and it just seems like a dream almost, because it just doesn't seem like it could be real.
No, it doesn't. And I mean, yeah, it was like this perfect storm for him. His best friend was on tour, and two of his other best friends were on tour with his best friend, and he and his girlfriend were living together, and they just broken up and decided, they're almost 20, and they wanted to just kind of like give it a break because they'd lived together since COVID.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they'd been together, yeah. And
yeah.
So I think it was just perfect storm, and then
Yeah.
he got mixed up with someone who, I don't know what she was thinking, but he got mixed up with someone and started doing Xanax.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to ask too. When he got back and was going back to his same school, did he just, I mean, was it hanging out with the wrong crowd? Like, I know that can have such a huge effect. Going back to your same friends that you used to go to parties with or whatever, and getting back to that same group of friends. Was it ever anything like that for him?
He went back to those same, they're all good kids.
Yeah.
I mean, none of them, I don't believe he grew up with them since kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Laguna Beach is a small town, city. I mean, it's just it's not very big.
Yeah.
And there's one high school.
Yeah.
And one middle school.
Yeah.
And so I think they were all good kids. They were all just doing the same thing that so weed and drinking and, sorry parents if, you think that your kids weren't doing it. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were.
You're like, they were high school kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Just living their life.
Yeah.
So then after high school, is that when he moved to LA?
No, during COVID. So
okay.
our daughter graduated. She went to school in New York. She graduated in, I don't remember. She's 20. When did she graduate? She's 20. She's going to be 28 in a couple of days. In 19,
I'm terrible at math, so I don't know.
2019? Yeah.
Okay.
And so she moved to LA, and he moved in with her.
Okay.
So they moved in together, which I loved. Mm-hmm. And they were best friends. They were 5 years apart, but they were still so close. Mm-hmm. And so, they lived together, and I'm so grateful for those times.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure she is, too.
Oh, she is.
Yeah.
She is.
So then he was living over there, and you had mentioned something about, like, his friend going on tour. So he moved to LA. What was his, dream? I know he kind of became a little bit of a TikTok guy. What was he wanting to do out there?
I have no idea. All I know is that we were talking, he's like, I'm going to do this TikTok thing. Mm-hmm. I think he came back from boarding school. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when the TikTok, it was like, he was 16 and a half maybe. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do this TikTok thing. I'm going to get 250,000 followers, and then I'm going to stop. And he did, like this.
Oh, my gosh.
And I was like, what is happening? What is this? What is this thing? And he stopped. Mm-hmm. And then, but he, was kind of getting into that crowd because it was, and my best friend and I took him to Florida to that. There's these TikTok things that you go.
Okay. Some convention or something.
It was yeah. And so we took him there, and he met a few people and that were living in LA that were coming. It was an interesting time in their lives. Mm-hmm. I mean, this TikTok world comes in, and then Instagram, and they're all meeting each other, and everybody's trying to get famous, and I don't think he really cared about that.
Yeah,
he really actually didn't care about it.
Yeah,
and then he started. He went to a party in LA at the Sway House, and that's where he met his best friend Jaden.
Okay.
And he and Jaden became best friends, like brothers. Like it was kind of a crazy, like they're like soulmate. And I have to throw Quentin in there too, because Quentin he met in Florida, and anyway, it just became such an interesting world. And then during COVID, he moved to LA with his sister. I mean, what else was he going to do?
Yeah.
He had an opportunity. She's working. It was an interesting opportunity for those kids that had these Sway House and Hype House and all these houses, I believe, and it could be wrong, but they had this interesting world of being able to somewhat be a little freer than other people. Like in Laguna Beach, everybody wearing their mask, everybody couldn't be, you walk down the street and everybody's like 10 feet away from you. Or you're like, why aren't you wearing your mask? Or, and these kids had a little bit of a freedom, which in a way I feel a little like, they were kind of blessed in that way. And, but anyway, that's kind of how he started, just hanging out in that world. And
yeah, it's like there's probably no like way to just go and start being a TikTok influencer,
No.
We have a message from our sponsors, Aspire Counseling Services. We just want to remind everyone that seeking treatment should never be stigmatized. Aspire specializes in providing support and treatment for both teens and adults with mental health and substance use disorders, recognizing that these conditions often do coexist. They are an amazing resource, and you can get started by texting or calling the number 888-585-7373 to enroll at any time. So on his TikTok, I saw him right before he passed that he was starting a Discord for mental health.
Yes.
So did he, which first off, I love that, it's like for him at such a young age to want to help and give back people that are struggling like himself,
Right.
Obviously that's why you start something like that, because you just know how it feels to feel alone. And that just reminds me of Kyle as well, because he was always like, I know he struggled himself, but he didn't ever, not often, like say it out loud, which I would know his struggles because I was the closest one to him, but he was going to help anyone and everyone else while he's internally struggling himself, and that's what breaks my heart is the day that he passed away, he went to go visit a friend that was in a treatment facility. And he sent me a picture, last picture he sent me, biggest smile ever, that he's like, oh, he's doing so good. I'm so proud of him. And it just leaves these questions, so confused. Like, why couldn't you just tell me that? Like, tell me that you wanted someone to help you the way that you're helping him, So did you notice any, did he deal with depression or like openly?
I think a lot of it was more anxiety, which is all together. I understand.
Yeah.
He was bullied when he was younger, because he, which was so frustrating. He was small. He's half Mexican, and people would just like bully him. Like, I had no idea. Yeah. Like, tell me.
Yeah.
Tell me these things.
Yeah.
And that frustrates me.
Yeah.
Like this thing about bullying, and when some of the fans DM me and tell me that they're being bullied or whatever, and then we'll go back to this Discord, it breaks my heart because I want to remind the kids it's not about you. It's about it's about the person, what they're missing inside their own heart, why they're bullying you. There's something about you that's they're jealous of. Maybe jealous is a strong word, or envious. I don't know, but there's something in their heart that's not fulfilled
What
in
are
their
you
own
not
life.
getting at home? Or,
yes, so they're taking out on something that they see in you that they want.
Yeah.
They want to be like you, and I don't care what, if you're the biggest nerd or whatever, and this person that's, supposed to be popular is picking on the other person.
Yeah.
There's something missing.
Yeah.
And I just try to really tell kids it's not about you.
Yeah, exactly.
But when Cooper started the Discord, which was 4 or 5 days before he passed away, yes, it was to help other kids. And he wanted a safe place. He wanted to make sure that you when you go on that Discord, if you're being bullied, if you're making fun of someone, we have a moderator. We have moderators. So they're pretty in touch with other kids. You know, if you're bullying, you get kicked off. You get kicked off for a month or, you know, whatever. But you're not allowed. And they'll watch you when you come back. And they'll watch you when you come back with a different name. I mean, they're pretty savvy.
Yeah.
So but the Discord is still about 185,000 kids strong. Kids, adults, I don't know who goes on there.
Yeah.
My husband goes on there a lot. I don't. I'll go on there now and then because I know some of the kids have questions for me. It's really hard for me.
Yeah.
Like that Discord is so personal, and I feel like I need to go on there more. It's so hard, but I'm so proud of my husband for being able to do it.
Can you explain a little bit more about the Discord? Because when I first heard it, I'm like, I don't really know like what that is, and so I just, for anyone that doesn't know.
So the Discord is coupsadvice.org, and what it does is it gives kids or adults that's struggling mentally, whatever your mental health is. It could be an eating disorder, drugs, suicide. There's places where you can go on the Discord where they all talk about their struggles, and then someone else will say, I've gone through that, I've been there, I know what that's like, and then they talk to each other. It's like it's a big family. It's communicating with each other and helping each other, and it's safe for them, and they can't and the Discord's it's grown from just that. Like people wanted, we try to make it, for merchandise, or kids that want to be creative, or we're trying to do something, expand it where we think that it would be helpful for every kid. Like, I mean, or adult. We don't know if adults go on there. I think it's just as good for adults. Yeah. Because they're suffering too.
Yeah, I feel like, my eyes have been opened since Kyle passed. It's like I guess for me personally, I didn't think about all the mental health and helping, give back and anything like that necessarily, obviously, until you yourself experience something so tragic. And I just think about before Kyle passed, and if I would have just known this, or if I would have heard this, and if I would have gotten this advice, and that's why we started the podcast too, because it's like it would have been nice to feel like you're less alone, be able to hear someone else's story and see like how they made it through, and and I feel like that's just so similar to this Discord too. It's just like people that aren't looking for something like that unless they are going through a tough time. And then it's like, oh my gosh, to feel that community and really just see the stories and listen to other people's stories. It's like feeling again that you're not alone. 29.
Okay.
Yeah. So just shy of his 30th birthday. Yeah.
Cooper too. Yeah. June 9th. Heavenly birthday, and his earthly birthday, June 28th. So June is kind of my hell month. Yeah. It's my hell month. Yeah. And his dad's birthday is June 10th.
Oh, man.
So, and then you've got Father's Day. Yeah. So I get a little bit of peace, like, after Father's Day for about a week and a half, because it's my best friend's birthday and I can celebrate her. Yeah. So, but June is a really hard month.
Yeah, because when any of these dates, August 17th was when he passed. Okay. He wasn't that close to his birthday, but the 30th birthday, we're like, oh, this is such a big one, thinking about that. But his birthday was in January, so he wasn't all that close to his birthday.
Close enough.
Yep, exactly. Close enough. So yeah, because then Kyle passed away, and not that long after was my son's birthday, so he didn't get to make it to his first birthday, and just all the holidays. It's hard. It's so hard. Yeah. I just remember that first birthday party, Brooks's first birthday party. It's like, I'm going to do it so big, but I can't even think about throwing a birthday party right now. What the heck, So I had so much love and support and family that just was like, we got this. We're going to put his birthday party together, and yeah, and it's so great, but it's so sad too, because I think back and I know how disconnected I was, I'm sitting there and I'm just like looking around.
I'm still disconnected.
I know. I'm sitting here like, oh, okay, I'm going to get all teary-eyed here thinking about it, but it's just like, like I said, it just feels like you're in a dream. Like it really, truly feels like I was in a dream. And when I think about even the good times sometimes, I'm like, oh, that was like such a good dream, like, I don't know, but it's like, no, that was my reality though. I don't know.
I love it that you said something about the good times, because it's so hard to think about the good times because my brain is so set on him leaving.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for me to say that he passed away. Mm-hmm. I don't say that very often.
Yeah.
I say left.
Yeah.
I mean, it is the hardest thing.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Because if I say it, it makes it real.
Yeah, I know. And it's so hard. I went through a phase. I shouldn't even say a phase. I'm still going through it. I have Kyle's phone, and I haven't turned it on in over a year because I cannot get myself to look at the pictures and videos, because I'm just at that point right now that I just can't. It just makes me too sad, Sorry.
It's okay. I don't have Cooper's phone.
Oh, yeah.
It's still with the prosecutors.
Oh, they never gave it back to you?
No, and I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Our guys are in jail.
Yeah. So,
I was going to ask you about yours.
Yeah.
If you know who did it.
I know exactly who did it. And it's sad because I went to high school with the guy. So I know exactly who he is. And me and the family at the time, right after he passed, was like, oh, we got to do something, we got to get this guy. And then it just kind of, I don't know, time just kind of went on, and we just weren't focused on that part of it. So we never did anything with it, even though I know exactly who he is, and I just, I was talking to someone who had gone, I believe, I can't even remember who it was now, that had gone through something like this. And they were like, I just want you to know, if you are going to take these measures of trying to get whoever this guy is, it's just going to open up a can of worms too. You're going to be going into all of Kyle's life and this, and I don't know. It's just it's going to be a lot. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that necessarily would mean, but at the time we just didn't pursue it. We just didn't pursue it.
I'm not so sure it's not too late if you have his phone.
Yeah, I do have his phone. I have all the messages and all.
I would love to encourage you to do something with it.
Yeah.
No matter what it brings up.
Yeah.
Because for me, it is about saving lives.
Yeah.
And I know how important that is for both of us. And that's why we're sitting here right now. It's all we care about is saving the other person from the people that killed our loved ones.
Yeah, and
my
I'm just
son and your
thinking,
fiance. Yeah. I mean, that's
I don't want another little boy to lose their dad.
No.
I don't want another mother to lose their son, No. I don't that shouldn't happen, Shouldn't freaking happen.
No.
Sorry. Okay.
That's okay.
So I guess now that I take a little breather, I guess leading up to Cooper's decision, what happened?
So this is what we know, that he started taking Xanax and I don't know, smoking weed and drinking about 5 or 6 weeks before he passed. And the last 4 or 5 days, he was, not 4 or 5, the last 3 or 4 days, he stopped. And he had some friends come over and help him, like, get rid of the Xanax. And the day he passed, he called me, and he just said, I'm okay, Mom. I know I had a setback. I'm doing okay. I'm on my way to a Bible study in Burbank. And we think he stopped to get a Xanax because he was trying to get off of it himself, and he needed something to get rid of whatever the aches and pains of coming off of an opioid. So we believe that he stopped to get a Xanax to help him get through. And that one choice led to that one bad decision. But that one bad decision, that one Xanax, he didn't have to die.
Yeah.
Taking one Xanax, you do not have to die.
No.
And it wasn't an overdose. And I'm so tired of that stigma. It was one pill. He was poisoned. He was murdered. And that's the bottom line.
Yeah.
So was Kyle.
Yeah. 100%.
And, he made that choice.
Yeah.
And who knows what the next... My husband said this a few times. Who knows what the next day could have been for Cooper? Yeah. He was doing well. He knew that he had a setback. He knew how, with all the tools he had learned through wilderness and boarding school, he knew what he had to do.
Yeah.
But that, Kyle.
Yeah.
One pill should never have killed them.
No. And I'm like, I think about the day that he passed, and I had talked to him over the phone. I brought my son over to my sister's house to go swimming, and it's like, yeah, I'll see you in a couple hours. We'll be there, and I know that he didn't expect this, didn't want this for us. No. Of course, he didn't want me and my son to walk in. And he didn't want to die? Him. No.
Cooper didn't want to die?
He had a plate of goldfish next to him on the couch. Like, he was just trying to watch some TV and just relax at home, Yeah. And he made a really stupid decision. And I just wish all the time that I could just sit there and talk to him and be like, what happened? What happened? Why didn't you tell me? Why couldn't we talk? Why couldn't I have helped you? You were out at a rehab visiting your friend, and you're over here struggling. And I don't, at the end of the day, I don't know if that was maybe a trigger for him. Just, I don't know. They say that the weirdest things can be triggers like that for, those that have struggled with addiction. And so I replay that day all the time, and I just wish that I could get the answers from him. And that's just part of it. Something that you'll never get an answer to. And it's horrible.
It is. I mean, I spoke to Cooper 2 weeks before. We talked a lot about fentanyl. I'm like, I'm scared of that. And he said to me, Mom, you'll never have to carry me. I won't do that to you.
Oh, gosh. Like, I had the same conversation with Kyle. I told him, because, he was seeing Breaking Bad.
Yes.
We talked about, gosh, dang. We started talking about, Kyle was obsessed with that show, and he had watched it, the full thing, several times. And he would always get so emotional on that scene of the girl overdosing. And I would just tell him, oh my gosh, I don't even want to see that. That just breaks my heart. And I just told him, I'm so glad you got clean, and I don't ever want to ever find you like that. That's like such a huge fear of mine. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm telling you to get clean and get off these stupid drugs. I would never, ever do that again. I won't ever get to that place again, And not that he was trying to get to this place or trying to, get back to that spot where he was addicted. But it's like, yeah, I didn't notice any change in him as far as like he was on pills again, because I mean, like I said, we talked about this, you can tell the difference. Mm-hmm. You can tell the difference, especially someone you see every day, or your son, And so, I mean, my friends, his friends and I would talk and just like, did you have any idea, And we just had no idea. So I don't, even scrolling through his phone, I'm like, I don't see even a little history of him even starting to take pills again, Mm-hmm. So it's just like such a complete shock, and
And that might have been a one-time moment for him.
Exactly.
Because Cooper's friends they knew that he was struggling.
Mm-hmm.
They knew. And I knew he was struggling. Mm-hmm. And I have regrets. Like, I feel like I should have...
You can't do that.
I should have gone to L.A. and slept on his balcony or in front of his door. But you don't think...
No, you don't.
That they're gonna die.
Yeah. And it's so hard. You can't, it's so hard for us not to, but like, you just think of all the events that unfolded, and you're just like, oh, if I just would have done this, if I would have done this, and you a little bit put a lot of weight on yourself, and blame yourself a little bit. And I'm just like, I've been told several times, you can't do that. You just can't do that. It's not your fault. You loved them as much as you could. Mm-hmm. And you just don't know. We didn't know what was going to happen, It's so hard not to put yourself there, though. It's really hard not to.
But look what you're doing, too. This is your purpose.
Yeah. And I know Kyle would be so proud.
Yeah.
I know he'd be so proud. Because, like I said, he just, like, till his last day, wanted to help people.
So did Cooper.
Wanted to help his friends,
Yeah.
So,
I love it that you have a photo of him with his friend.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's really special. Because it does show
mm-hmm.
who he is. Yeah, our boys didn't want to die.
No.
They just wanted a little relief. And I wish that Cooper I wish he just didn't make that fatal decision.
I know.
To trust someone he didn't even know.
Mm-hmm.
And he knew them because he was introduced to them by the last, within the last 5 or 6 weeks of his life.
Mm-hmm. So that's what I was going to ask, too, is when you got that phone call. I know that's probably the worst.
I won't talk about it.
Phone call. Yeah, you don't have to talk about
it. I have spoken, like that day, I spoke to him, I think about 2 or 3 hours before. He called me, and he told me he was on his way to a Bible study. Mm-hmm. And the last things he said to me was, I love you and I love the Lord. And then 3 hours later, my son was gone. So I'm grateful for that conversation.
Absolutely.
But the only thing I will talk about is when I got the phone call. I won't talk about, it's hell.
Yeah.
That like you're in hell.
Mm-hmm.
And but I asked I think the detective at the coroner's office, because it happened in Burbank, and they wouldn't let me come see my baby. I didn't get to see my baby.
They wouldn't let you see him?
No, the Burbank coroner's office wouldn't let me go see him. I'm like, I'm coming now. And he's like, no, you can't. Yeah. I didn't get to see my baby.
That shocks me.
It pisses me off so bad. Shame on them.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever told anybody, but anyway, I asked the detective who called, and I said, I said, I want to know exactly what my son was doing. You tell me exactly, because I knew it was on camera, because it happened in a parking lot. He walked out of a door. He's waiting on an Uber, and he sat down. And I said, okay. He sat down. What did he do? I want to know exactly every second. He said he looked up. I said, so he looked up, he saw Jesus. Okay, he looked up. And then he put his head down and died. I'm like, okay, he looked up. That's what I needed to know.
Yeah. Gosh, I am so sorry.
And that's kind of, honestly, I haven't gone, I mean, I've gone to therapy, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and we haven't talked about that after that conversation. I can't go there. And I still have his clothes in a bag I haven't looked at.
Mm-hmm.
I've thumbled through the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and I picked up I wanted to see what shoes he was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. I don't, honestly, I probably will need help to go through that night
Oh, absolutely.
because I can't go there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I just don't have words because there's really nothing
No.
to say, you know? 'Cause
You
I
feel
just-
it.
I
you
know.
you feel it. You know it. And your precious little baby,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So you say
You're so
that-
lucky, though.
I'm
You're so lucky you have him.
So glad to have him for sure. And you know it's crazy. I don't know if you heard it on one of the episodes, but my son was born on the day my best friend passed away.
I think I did. Yes.
So I just feel like that was my like big sign from God, like he's meant to be here for
Yes,
you. Like
yes.
he's born for purpose, and I get that little piece of Kyle always, you know. But I got to bring up this story too because this just happened last week. You said that Cooper looked up to Jesus. My son, we were getting in the car last week, and I was taking him to my mom's. He goes and stays with my mom while I go to work. And so I get in the car, and randomly Brooks says, "Oh, Daddy." And I was like, "What?" And he said, "Yeah, Dada." I said, "What about Dada?" He said, "He's with Jesus." I said, "Yeah, he's with Jesus. Yeah, he's in heaven." I said, "Yeah, he's in heaven." And I said, what did I say? Did he come to visit you in your dream? Because it's still in the morning, you know? And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, what did he say?" He said, "He wants mommy." And I was just like, you know, that broke my heart. And I said, "Well, what did you say to him?" He said, "Hi, Daddy." And, you know, he just randomly started talking about him. And he's like, "Yeah, we lost him." I said, "We did lose him." He said, "I see him at church." I was like, "Okay." And
I
he's
love that.
Yeah, and he's telling me all of this, and then he just moved on to something else.
I love
But I was just like, yeah, it made me feel like he got a little visit from his dad.
You're so funny because I have that tattoo on my foot. Visit me in my dreams.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I really do feel like he got a little visit from his dad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. And I hope that continues to happen through his life, you know, that he feels that connection with his dad.
I've had several dreams with Cooper.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Like they feel so real.
Yeah, especially, like, it was really weird. But he and I were so close.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter and husband are a lot alike.
Mm-hmm.
A lot alike. And Cooper and I are a lot alike. I mean, I don't, Harold, I feel like I lost my soulmate, as silly as it is for mom to say. Like, but he had my heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had his heart the same.
Mm-hmm.
And even though I feel the same way about my daughter, but it was just
Yeah, you just had a very special bond with him.
a very special bond.
Yeah.
And I was going to tell you, I forgot what I was going to say. But I've had some really beautiful dreams.
Yeah.
And his fans text me, not all of them, but they've texted me and said, "Cooper visited me in my dream." And I'm always like, "How did he look? What phase was he in? Was he in the blonde phase? Was he in the different color hair phase?"
I love to hear all the stories. Yeah.
But I will tell you one thing. I will tell you this one story because this is really crazy. I mean, things like that have happened. Like, I get little signs here and there, but I guess we had to go to court for the person and for a bail hearing. And I think it was a Thursday, but on a Tuesday I was having a nervous breakdown in my house, screaming, crying, throwing shit around. I was like angry. And I follow a lot of his friends, and they let me follow him. I mean, they let me follow them. It's so cute. And I'm like, why? I want to know where you are. I want to see your location. I want to know exactly where you are. I need your location. Anyway, so when you go to court, you have to turn your phone off. My phone's turned off completely. And then right when we get out of the courtroom, my phone comes on, and I don't think anything of it. I'm like, that's weird. I turn my phone off. So the next day I'm at the park with our dogs, and I look at my phone, and Cooper's face, it's his text message, and he said, Cooper started following, or what does it say, location, you have Cooper's location, or you know how
started sharing his location.
Cooper started sharing his location, and I'm like, Harold, where's Cooper's phone? And he's like, and I'm like, okay. Cooper started sharing his location with me. Is that crazy?
Oh my gosh, that is so crazy.
So I've had like little things like that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I probably have so many little stories like that too. And the other day when
you should write a book.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I was going to say.
I love that. It's true.
Yeah. When this whole thing happened with Brooks, my sister's like, you got to start writing this stuff down. He's going to think that's so cool looking back at later on.
Yes.
She's like, get a book just for these little stories.
I have everything in my notes. If I have a dream at 2 or 3 in the morning, I'm like, okay, I write it down.
Yeah, I need to start doing
that.
I have
do
to.
That.
Yes, I keep saying I'm going to, but I need to actually do it. Yeah. So then I guess leading up afterwards, I know you guys ended up prosecuting this guy, the dealer.
Well,
how did that
I really
unfold?
can't get into it very much, but the detective just felt like something wasn't right. So he started researching and getting into Cooper's phone and then he was like, something doesn't seem right. And then once he was finished with everything that he could do, he sent it to the DEA's office. And then the DEA started looking into it and found that there was like a bigger picture. And I don't really know all the details, and I really don't want to know. But anyway, so he... and my husband will get into it, but he knows I won't. And anyway, the guy that poisoned my son sent a text to someone else saying, you shouldn't be selling you shouldn't be selling stuff with fentanyl. You killed my boy. And every time I say that, it makes me crazy. No, you killed my boy.
Yeah.
He wasn't your boy.
Yeah.
He was just someone that you're giving drugs to, that you're killing.
Yeah.
He was my boy. You killed my boy. And I think that is what, But our detective, to me, and I've never met him. My husband's met him, and I know one day I will meet him. Is just my hero.
Yeah.
Because he could have been like so many other detectives, like, just another overdose.
Right.
And unfortunately, that's what a lot do. And I do hope that that their eyes are being opened and they're being a little bit more loving and caring, knowing that one pill they know that one pill shouldn't kill.
Right.
And it's not taking 30 pills or... they know, and the stigma that we have to deal with. Oh, they're just a drug addict.
Yeah. after Kyle passed, I went through his phone the next day, and I found the text from his dealer, and I texted him from Kyle's phone. I said, I hope you know that Kyle died last night. And he responded, what? Read that again. I'm not going to get into it. I didn't even text back, but I just was like, I'm going to let him know. You killed him. You are the reason he died. And, yeah, there's just no words.
No.
So I know you have a lot of things that you're working on to carry on Cooper's legacy. So can you share some of those with us?
Of course. 2 weeks before Cooper passed, he got in touch with End Overdose, which he just saw a small little thing on Instagram, reached out to them and said, I want to be your spokesperson. I want to help you. I want to do a merch drop with you. And they were thrilled. And so he was starting to do something with them. And we had no idea until after Coop passed that he had reached out to End Overdose. And he sadly didn't get to meet Theo, who started End Overdose, and who is an amazing young man. He's also a fire, he works for the fire department. What's he called, a firefighter?
Yes. We're all mixed up here today. It's okay.
Firefighter.
It's all right.
Anyway, he's a firefighter and in LA County, and he, when he was young, his fiance died from an overdose, a real overdose. So it's been his passion. And anyway, so Cooper reached out. They sent him Narcan. And by the way, Cooper had it on him when he passed. But you can't distribute it to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't. I mean,
No.
it's impossible. But
Yeah.
Anyway, so after he passed, we became friends with Theo and wanted to do merch drops. So we did a few with End Overdose. And unfortunately, as time has gone on, Coop's merch doesn't sell the way it used to. And it's okay. People have moved forward, and they're, doing other things. And it's a lot of money for young adults to buy things, sweatshirt or...
Yeah.
But everything goes to mental health, and...
I love that. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's... anyway, what else?
The documentary.
So, yes. And that was 2 weeks before, and then 4 or 5 days before Coop, he started the platform of Coups Advice.
Okay.
So he did these two things within a 2-week period.
Okay.
And the documentary is called Tell Me About Tomorrow, which Cooper had a couple of setbacks. One of the setbacks was one of his best friends, Jaden, who is in the music industry, wrote a song, Tell Me About Tomorrow. And during one of his setbacks during COVID, Cooper almost died from, an overdose.
Yeah.
And so that's when he became sober, right after that. And Jaden wrote him the song, Tell Me About Tomorrow, and that's the name of the documentary. And I was just asking the producer or director when he thinks it'll be out. Sometime this next year, they're hoping in March. They're waiting, I guess we're all waiting to see, it's going to be at South by Southwest. We're trying to get it in there. And we'll see after that. I don't really keep up with all that. I let Harold deal with all that.
Yeah.
And anyway, so
Very
I think the
nice,
documentary,
though.
it's
Yeah.
going to be about, I think it's a lot about, not just about Cooper, but about what's happening in real time, about fentanyl in real time. And Cooper was well known in that industry, the TikTok and the early stages of TikTok and Instagram, and meeting people and the friends that he had and loved, and the friends that loved him. And I think it's going to be a beautiful story about his life, not just in LA, but like growing up in Laguna. And I believe it's about just everyday life. Like it's a person who, you know, it could be anybody. You know, he had a future. Yeah. Kyle had a future. They have futures, and one pill took him away.
Yeah.
And I think that it's important, I think, because it's happening in real time.
Yeah. And it's just unfortunate, too, at this point in time. I feel like just, it doesn't matter the age, unfortunately. Yeah.
But the ages are from, you're right, but 18 to 45. And I think they've narrowed it down to even 18 to 45 now, 35.
Okay.
Where the most deaths. But I talked to Theo, and they're down. They're down a lot.
Yeah.
Since the borders have been closed. But he also told me that there could be $140 million withholding for mental health and things that will help, you know, with the drug overdose, like Narcan and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think we need to try to fight for to keep that money intact for mental health.
Absolutely. Yeah. And speaking of this Narcan stuff, I went into just a random small local restaurant, and they had Narcan just sitting up on the counter in there. That. Yeah, and I'm like, you know what? Unfortunately, we need that.
We do, and he was also telling me that in the rural areas, that there are vending machines where you can just get them.
Oh my gosh, okay.
Which is amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, with all of this, like, unfortunate
and they're
overdose,
free.
It's like,
I love that.
Yeah. Making a difference. You need to start, it has to start somewhere, because I personally know too many people, or know someone that knows someone that's passed from fentanyl. And it's too sad.
I'm really proud of you. I'm really proud of you for starting this.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, it was hard to, you know, talk about it first, as I'm sure it was hard for you to talk about it too. But I just know that more than anything else, Kyle would just want to help people. Absolutely. Like, I don't care, you know, let's actually do something about it, you know? And, I was going to do something with writing, you know, I was always like on my Instagram and just talking about all my feelings and stuff. And then we started talking about a podcast, and it just, one thing led to the next. And I'm telling you, it all just lined up the way it needed to.
That's right.
And I feel like it was just meant to be. It really was meant to be.
We have a purpose.
Yeah, we do.
We're here to save lives.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
One life at a time.
Yeah. So I just want to thank you so much for coming on, making your trip up here to come and talk today, and just help spread the word.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Love meeting you and your team.
Yeah, thank you. Before we end, is there any sort of advice you'd give to any parent, or honestly just anybody that has gone through something like this?
Yeah, I would. I think that as silly as this sounds, you still need to know. I don't care how old your children are. You still need to know who your friends are. Their friends are.
Yeah.
And I think
seriously,
you really do. And I think that listen to your children. Even the slightest thing. They're not going to tell you everything, but they might tell you 98% of something important, and the other 2% they want to hide. But just listen to them, and don't blow them off. Watch them. If you feel like they're sad, or, I mean, there's signs. And I think that we don't listen to our children enough. We just like, oh, you'll grow out of it. I went through that. Well, growing out of it and going through that is I don't know statistically what it was when I was young, but seeing it now, I feel like it's probably a lot more. And never think that it cannot happen to your family.
Yeah.
Because anything can happen to your family, and just listen to your children. Yeah. Listen. Yeah. With open hearts and no judgment.
Yes.
No judgment, no shame, no nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And just let them know that, welcome them into whatever they have to say.
Yeah.
It's
There's
just so important.
People that love them, and they just need to know that you're there.
And if they can't speak to their parents, maybe go to one of their best friends or friends' parents. Mm-hmm. So there's got to be someone that will listen.
Yeah. I feel like everyone's close to someone, right?
Someone's close to someone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, Treva, thank you so much again for coming down and coming onto the podcast.
Thank you again. I loved it. Thank you.
Thank you.
It always makes my heart stronger, I feel like.
Yeah, and we go through little therapy sessions. We can cry together a little
gosh,
bit.
I know. Yay, I feel so good. I'll feel good for a day or two.
Yeah, right? And then you're like, oh, man, I'm back there again.
You can always call me, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can always text me and go, I'm having a meltdown. Yeah. I'm like, me too. Or,
all right, let's hear it.
I'm like, I hate people.
Yeah, I know, right? Seriously, though. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shattered Silence. As always, don't forget to follow us on all of our socials on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can watch full episodes on YouTube, or you can listen in on Apple Podcast or Spotify.